we don't have time. Let's move along.
We have plenty of time. We have like 3 hours. We have an hour.
We have half an hour, Sam. It's 12:30.
Well, we don't have time. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to Book Reshorts.
Woo, Reshorts.
The Book Retorts short podcast for when we don't have time to do the long stuff.
Good explanation, Sam. Good explanation.
Thank you, Danielle. During this holiday season, we are alternating our shorts with our regular episodes, so check back next week or last week for if you want the normal Book Retorts goodness. But for now, Danielle, boy, do I have a callback for you.
Oh gosh, I'm so nervous. This is a recap episode.
This is another one of our wonderful, wonderful Book Retorts partial recall episode.
Where one of us gives the other person a media piece we've already done to remember.
Right, so I've already explained this media piece to you once, Danielle. I want to see how much you remember from my explanation.
Yeah, I'm so bad. We know how bad I am at this.
Danielle, because I'm a kind and benevolent co-host, I'm going to pick something from the relatively recent past.
Okay.
But also because I'm not that kind, it's going to be a very bland thing that probably slipped out of your brain immediately.
Okay, let's do this.
It is the movie Wolves.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. This was one of our Spook Retorts episodes.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, supposedly about werewolves, but Danielle, why don't you tell me what happened?
Okay. Okay. So, I don't remember anybody's name. I'm going to put it out there right now because they all had the same name. There was like Connor and
yes, you got
Charles
one. Who was Connor?
And
nope.
I don't know. They all started with C's.
There were exactly 3 characters with C names, Danielle.
Okay, that's like 3 too many.
And one was a minor character who did not matter. But I agree, it was very confusing.
If you have one character with a C name, you should not have 2 other characters that have similar C names. It's just movie rules.
Okay. Well, you got Connor. Do you remember who played Connor?
Connor was either the high school kid or it was the dad wolf, Jason Momoa.
Well, 50-50 shot, Danielle. Take a stab.
High school kid.
No.
Oh, man. Seriously? What was his name?
So we have Connor Slaughter, who was Jason Momoa's character, the leader of these. Well, again, that's all I'm going to say. And you don't remember the high school kid's name at all?
Carl. Kenneth.
No.
No.
Kenneth with the K?
No. No, I don't remember it.
Okay, I'll give you the first 2 letters. C-A?
Oh, I knew that. Because it was stuck in my head. I can't remember what the rest of it was. Calvin?
No, there's a Y
Cameron?
next. No.
Yeah, that was close. Is Cameron the one that I thought the name was, but it wasn't?
Or Caleb. I don't remember.
I didn't think it was Caleb. I don't know, Sam. Give it to me.
It's Caden.
Caden. I would never have gotten there in a million years.
Caden. I will give you, I will end this episode right now, Danielle, and let you off the hook. If you can remember the 3rd C name from this episode.
It wasn't Cameron, was it?
No.
Because that's the one I thought
I'll give
was
you
the
one
other
more
name.
guess.
I cannot think of another C name at all.
It was Carter, Danielle.
Carter. Nope, wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, continue.
Caden. Okay, so Caden's a high school student, a popular high school student, an annoying popular high school student, a jock.
Yes.
And he probably murders some kid on a football field during a football
definitely
game.
Murders.
And he ends up...
Do you remember how he murdered him?
Did he hit him?
Just bashed his head in, put a dent in his helmet, the whole thing.
I don't remember at all. They were playing a football game and somehow he murdered him.
Yep.
And he ends up, he goes, what does he do? Oh, his girlfriend tells him not to worry about it.
Yeah, she's like, that's fine, murder's cool.
And she, he's there. Do they get into an argument and he, scratches her or something?
Well, they're making out.
Oh, they are making out. Okay.
Getting hot and heavy.
And then he, I don't know, suddenly gets angry or something. He has wolfy feelings. I don't know, Sam.
He gets all excited and loses control.
And then accidentally scratches her.
His face briefly transforms into a wolf face and he bites her.
Oh, he bites her. I can't believe I didn't remember that.
Yeah, then she freaks out and gets out of the car and scratches her back.
That's all I remembered was the scratches. I didn't remember that he bit her. Though I should have, because I still have questions about how she didn't turn into a werewolf, because spoilers, he turns into a werewolf.
It doesn't matter, Danielle. That's not how this world works.
And so they get into a big fight. She leaves, I think, and he goes home.
Yeah.
And goes to sleep.
Something happens, yeah.
Well, and then he wakes up and he's covered in blood.
Yes.
And it turns out that his parents died during the night, and he may or may not have killed them, but he probably did.
Yes.
Yes. And then his girlfriend shows up with the cops, and he freaks out, and he runs for it.
Yes. All good, Danielle. Well done.
All right. So this is where the story turns into what it should have been, which is a werewolf on the road trying to find himself.
Yes. Good. I'm glad you remembered our great idea for the Incredible Hulk TV series meets werewolves.
Exactly, which would have been a better story, but that does not happen. He ends up, I don't know, there's like a thing with a sex worker who's like on the street, and he gets like propositioned, I think, by her, and then some guys show up and are like trying, like hurting her, and he gets really angry and he kills them.
Good. I mean, that's good enough.
He's killed a lot of people. This is like this is like 5 people that he's managed to kill in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yes, indeed.
And then he ends up in a bar.
You're doing surprisingly well,
I know.
Danielle.
I'm impressed. This might be where I lose it, though, because of the rest of the plot, when he like gets to the farm or whatever, doesn't make sense. This is all like plot by plot, so I like remember this part. I don't remember anything that happens after it.
All right, let's go.
So he ends up in the bar, and he is where apparently he can drink, even though he's probably not even 18. And he is talking to some guy who realizes that he's a werewolf. Yes.
Yes. Do you remember this guy's name?
Not even remotely. Old man guy. Old wolf.
No.
Old.
No.
Cameron.
Wild Joe.
Wild Joe. I can't believe I don't remember that.
I was going to say, Danielle, I'm disappointed about that
I am too. So he meets this guy named Wild Joe who's like, oh, you're one of us.
Yes.
And Caden is like, what have you? What are we talking about here? And he tells him that there's like a community, possibly, maybe a community on, I don't know, Wolf Hill, Lycanthrope Lane.
Oh, so close. So close.
Like in
nope.
Village.
Think more Latin.
Oh gosh. What's the wolf? I know it. One of the L's. Lupine Ridge. And he tells him that this is a place that maybe he should check out, because very mysteriously, but he does it in the most ridiculous way, which as he's leaving the bar, he throws a dart at a map and sticks it into where it is on the map, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
And then he's like, peace out, brother, and leaves.
He doesn't like want to tell him, but Caden insists, basically.
And so he looks and he's like, oh, that dart went into this place that sounds mysteriously like a wolf thing. But he doesn't know quite yet.
You mean obviously like a wolf thing.
And so he goes to this little town, right? That's the next thing.
Yeah.
And he goes into the local bar again. And there's a bartender.
Yeah.
And there's a girl who comes in who he has the immediate hots for.
Yes, remember her name.
Sam, what makes you think, if I cannot remember any of the main characters' names, that I would remember the girl's name?
Because her name is ridiculously obvious.
No.
It's Angel.
Angel. Okay. I didn't remember that.
Right?
I didn't remember that at all.
Okay.
And so Angel is like the girl he has the hots for, and they have a little staring contest across the bar. And it turns out that Angel's the sister of the bartender?
Well, her and her sister own the bar.
Okay. So her and her sister own this bar. And this is where my memory fails, Sam. You'll appreciate this. The community doesn't like him.
Well, specifically, one person doesn't like him.
Is it the guy? Is it non-Cameron? What's his name?
Oh, you really?
Judge.
This is the one name you remembered at the beginning of this episode.
Jason Momoa.
Yes, but...
But Jason Momoa, who seems to be somehow in charge of these people, and his name...
What's his name, Danielle? I'm not going to let that off the hook.
Oh gosh, okay, Caden, not Cameron, not Carl.
Cameron is in your head for some reason.
I don't know why Cameron's stuck in my head. It's the name I thought was in the movie and wasn't. That's why it's stuck in my head.
Connor, Danielle.
Connor. Oh my gosh. Okay. Connor is Jason Momoa. Connor. So Connor.
You need like a new mock device. CJN. Connor Jason Momoa.
Connor Jason Momoa.
Caden. CT. Caden T.
Don't give me more. That's going to confuse me. So Connor Jason Momoa is doesn't like this guy in the bar for no reason whatsoever that anybody can tell.
Territorial wolf stuff.
Yes, but he doesn't know he's a wolf yet, does he?
I mean, I think Wild Joe smelled it on him. They can all smell it on each other.
Right, but does Caden know that he's a wolf yet? I don't remember if Wild Joe specifically told him.
Yeah, no, Caden knows he's a wolf. He's transformed several times.
Okay, so he knows he's a wolf, but Connor Jason Momoa really doesn't like him for reasons that nobody can really tell except maybe territorial. They get into kind of a little scuffle, and so Caden leaves the bar and hides in some bushes until they all leave.
Yes, exactly right.
And then he goes back into the bar.
Not quite. He goes towards the bar.
Oh, and then what's his face? The old farmer guy.
Yeah.
Old farmer guy comes up and is like, hey.
His name is John.
John, sure. Of course. That's his name. That's what all old farmers are named. John is like, hey.
I believe if you look at American Gothic, it just says John and Betty.
Yeah. So John the farmer guy is like, hey, if I heard you need a job, you can totally come over to my place. I have a job for you. Right?
Yeah, basically,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So he ends up on the farm, living the farm life. And he's like, I love this work and living out my best life on this farm.
Yeah, basically. And it's super boring.
It is. And at one point, some deer die. Deer?
Close. So first off,
Sheep.
you forgot that Connor confronts him at the barn.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't remember that at all.
Connor at one point shows hey, who are you? Where are you from? And John's like, oh, this is my nephew or something. And there's some, fang-bearing posturing thing going on.
So they're on his property, on John's property. And they're like,
yeah.
Okay, get off my property, dude. Connor Jason Momoa, get off my property.
More like Caden and Connor posture at each other.
And so they have a little tete-a-tete, and they...
You're right. So it's not a deer. It's some sheep or something that are killed. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then John is like, oh, wolves come down from the hills. That happens sometimes. But what's his face? Caden thinks that he probably did it in his sleep again because he keeps not remembering that he murdered things.
Yeah.
And...
No, specifically his parents. He doesn't remember that.
Right. He doesn't remember that he killed his parents. Probably. And maybe that football player.
Well, he should remember that.
He was awake for that one. He doesn't, for some reason, does not remember if he killed his parents or not. This is literally, I don't remember anything that happens past this point.
At all?
Well, okay. I mean, I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember coherently. The story meanders a lot, Sam.
So, at one point, there's a TV that comes on with a news program about the Cannibal Kid.
Oh yeah, Cannibal Kid. I knew there was a news program, so he's trying to, avoid it so that other people don't know that he's the Cannibal Kid.
So he, turns it off and, heads into town.
And he meets Angel again at some point.
Well, we'll get to that, but first he runs into everyone's favorite character.
Joe?
No, the other C name.
Not Cameron.
Not
Carter.
Carter, who remember what Carter says to him?
No.
Carter's like, I'm your second cousin, dude. You gotta get out of here. Connor's gonna kill you.
So he just says, get out of town.
He's like, yeah, you gotta leave for your own sake.
And then I remember that when, Carter leaves the bar, he gets taken by the other wolves.
Yeah, so who sees him? What's his name again?
I
had to keep this whole thing straight for this entire retelling. I'm gonna make you do it once.
Jason Momoa.
Who is...
Why am I having such a hard time with his name?
I don't know. It's one name.
I immediately forgot it again, Sam.
It's Connor.
Connor Jason Momoa.
Connor sees this little exchange between Carter and Caden.
Okay, listeners, you tell me if that is not confusing. Connor, Caden, and Carter?
All right. Moving on. So, yes, Connor sees this, and he and his pack track down Carter, and what do they do to him?
They release him, into the woods for sport.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they hunt and eat him, right.
So it's, the most dangerous game. And I think Angel and him hear the howls. Does Angel go after him? So
Angel and, what's his name again?
Caden,
they see this, and Angel is there to basically prevent Caden from getting killed by being an idiot.
Because he wants to go into the woods and, help?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And so Angel stops him, and they have a little heart-to-heart, maybe?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And what does Angel reveal that, links them together? That was it. What does Angel reveal that Caden uses as, a pickup line to link them together, a common interest?
Oh, her parents died or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, oh, my parents died too. And you're like, dude, you killed your parents.
Also, that's not, the best way. Oh, your parents are dead? My parents are dead. Let's go out sometime.
We have that in common. It's amazing. Did I kill your parents too?
Your parents are dead? I killed your parents. I killed my parents. Let's make this happen. Anyway, so I want to make sure we put that in there because it was dumb.
I'd forgotten that. It was funny. And do they go out on a date? I don't remember them ever going on a date.
Kind of a date. He and Angel later, after they get back to the barn, after seeing that terrible stuff. You remember what happens?
Do they make out? They have sex?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what you always do after you see terrible stuff in a movie.
Yeah.
It's life-affirming, Sam. But they don't have little wolf babies yet, so it's okay.
Yeah, of course. And also just like, she's like, it's okay. You're a wolf. I'm a wolf. You won't lose control and kill me.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because he was afraid to have sex because he was afraid that he was going to lose control because he keeps doing that. And she's like, nah, it's fine. Totally worth it because I'm 17 and I don't know any better. She's
like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. I'm okay dying for coitus. And I'm like,
Oh, crazy wolves.
That's a very teenage
wolf
mentality.
Which,
yeah, exactly. It's very like chef's kiss of teenage mentality.
And then what happens after that? At some point, he finds out that am I jumping ahead? I'm jumping ahead.
No, not terribly.
Okay, then he finds out his like entire family lives in this town or did live in this town.
Okay, so you're jumping ahead a little bit.
Okay.
He finds out there's a problem with him hooking up with Angel.
Does he?
Well, what's the conflict?
I don't know,
there?
Sam. I couldn't even keep track of their family involvement when I was listening to you talk about it. I needed like a family tree for this wolf family.
Do you remember who Angel is also potentially involved with?
Well, she's involved with is it Connor?
Yeah, you got it.
Connor Jason Momoa, because he like wants her.
Yes, because he wants a son.
But he's waiting till she's of legal age, which ew. And
yes.
It turns out is this too early? That he turns out that he actually was also involved with his mom. Like,
yes, so there we go. You hit it on the nail on the head here. So, trigger warning for very poorly handled sexual assault.
Yes, so he like sexually assaulted Caden's mom at some point, and Caden was born from that relationship.
Yes. So,
well, it's not really, it is a relationship, but you don't know that quite yet.
So the story that John tells Caden,
because John is his uncle or cousin or something, right?
His uncle reality. Or something. Yeah. So John's brother had a daughter that Connor fancied, and according to John, Connor forced himself on her. She got pregnant. Her dad, Caden's mom's dad, was super pissed and was like, I'm going to kill you for getting pregnant because...
terrible parenting.
Sexism. And so
John locks her up. That's what it is.
John hides her in his basement to protect her from her father until she gives birth and then dies of a broken heart or something.
Yes, or suicide, or I don't know. It was not unclear.
Suicide, I think.
Yeah, and then Caden is, I assume, sent out to go live with a nice family. He adopts
Caden out to protect him. Yes, exactly right. So he adopts Caden out to protect him from being killed by his grandfather, essentially.
Yes. Weird.
And he's not his uncle, like his great uncle or something, but it doesn't matter. So that's the story of Connor and Caden's mom.
And remind me, does Connor know that this is his son yet?
No.
Okay. Because that happens at some point.
And now Connor is like, I want to get my legacy in order. And Angel seems like another purebred wolf. Because remember, there's this whole purebred thing.
Yeah, they only want purebred babies. They don't want like crazy non-purebred babies. That would be too much. And
in this case, that means someone that they've turned into a wolf, not someone who was born as a wolf.
Right, which is crazy because when he learns that Caden is his son, he still wants to murder him even though he's a purebred baby.
Yeah, which we'll get to a little later. But yeah, no, so now he's like, Angel, other purebred, she's going to be the one who's going to father my legacy, and if I don't get her, I'm just going to keep murdering her family and friends until I get her to...
Right, and she agrees because, one, she doesn't want her friends and family murdered, but she also wants to leave the town, and he promised that she could leave, right?
Basically, she's like, if I give him a son, then I can be free of him. He won't want me to stay here anymore. He won't have any claim on me.
Get out of this small town.
Yeah.
Just a small town girl with big dreams, Sam.
This movie, crazy. All right, go on.
I don't know how we got to any... Like, Sam, I wasn't kidding, but I, like, literally only knew up to the part where he got to the bar, and I don't remember any of the plot after that.
All right.
I did so well in the beginning. I just don't remember how all these pieces tie together. At some point, how does Connor learn that Caden's his son?
So Connor learns this when Caden goes to confront him.
And Caden tells him the story.
He's like, hey, I'm not afraid of you. You got to leave Angel alone or I'm going to, I'm your son, etc. You attacked my mother and you're terrible. And Connor's like, kill him to his pack.
Right. So they chase after him?
Yes. And he escapes by...
doing a dance routine. I don't know, Sam.
He jumps off a cliff.
He does?
Yes.
Oh, boy, I don't remember that at all.
He jumps off a cliff and they're like, no, he's probably dead. And who finds him mangled at the bottom of this cliff?
Angel?
Wild Joe.
Wild Joe. Oh, yeah, he comes back in. But Wild Joe's actually evil. Spoiler.
Maybe.
Probably. This is where I thought Wild Joe is probably evil.
And so Wild Joe yells Caden back to life.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, get back up.
And he does. And I don't remember what happens. Sam, I really don't.
I'm going to give you 2 words. Sexual healing. So, Caden, all beat up, goes back to the barn. And Angel insists on sleeping with him to help him transform back into a wolf. Because apparently that's the only way he could be healed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and it works.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And then Angel's like, you should get out of here. And he's like,
He's like, I'm going to take it upon myself to try and take over Connor's control of this city, of this town.
Basically, he's like, I'm going to defy him because I'm a teenager with a big attraction to a girl, and that means I can do anything I want.
And the entire town is like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't care if he kills our women and children.
Do you remember what their plan is that Caden makes next?
No.
You remember nothing of this. No. None of this.
I remember as you talk about it, it comes back to you. I don't remember it ahead of time.
Pathetic.
I'm sorry.
Not kidding, of course. It got very weird. So, he and Angel, they have a little thing. He's like, I have to find this. And so, when he walks into a shed and sees John with manure...
Oh, they're going to use the manure as fertilizer bomb to blow it up. And it involves
shotgun
John
shells
shooting through a tiny little hole in the
we'll
barn
get to that. You're jumping way ahead to the end. So they make these fertilizer mines to start rigging up Home Alone style the entire barn, the entire farm here.
So that they can blow up all the bad wolves.
Right. So they can make a stand essentially because they know that, there's a certain date, I think Halloween, when Connor is demanding Angel marry him.
Right. Halloween seems fair.
Yeah. Of course it is. So as Caden is doing this, you remember what happens to Angel?
Oh, she gets kidnapped.
Yes.
Kidnapped by Connor, Jason Momoa, and his ragtag band of wolves.
Yep, and he invites them to the wedding.
Yeah, so he decides he's going to marry her right then and there.
Well, it's pretty much Halloween. He's on schedule.
Okay, well, they're going to marry/mate. And so he invites everybody meeting Caden and company to the wedding.
Whatever they call it, the mating, the wedding, I don't remember.
And he shows up. Does he have music?
There's a little party going on.
I don't know why. There's music.
So who shows up though?
Caden shows up.
No, not yet.
Oh.
There's a cage with John and Angel's sister in there.
The bartender?
Yeah, her sister.
I don't remember that at all.
Connor has kidnapped them, put them in a cage, and John's like, he's your son, you shouldn't do this. I don't believe you.
Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
All right. So the wedding's happening. Angel's tied to a log, basically.
Yeah, and she seems super out of it for some reason, which is interesting since she's a wolf.
Yeah, I think she's been drugged personally.
We assume she's been drugged.
Not okay. So now Caden does some very fancy things, right?
Doesn't he have set up some stuff?
We said he had to because what he does, he takes out 2 of the guards first. And then do you remember what happens next?
No.
Caden's voice comes out of the woods.
That's right. I knew it was something loudspeakery, but I couldn't remember exactly what happened.
And we speculate he must have spent some time in the woods setting up loudspeakers because otherwise it makes no sense.
So his voice comes out of the woods and it freaks everybody out.
He freaks some of the people out. He's like, I'm going to get you, Connor. This is my girl or whatever. There's some, BS posturing that they do. He's like, real wolves don't terrorize towns or kidnap
innocent.
Right.
The real wolves comment, which is real wolves don't do any of these things. So
right, they don't have wives or anything. So he's like, what do you know about being a real wolf?
Because we can't decide if these are wolfmen or werewolves or what these creatures are, because they don't follow any of the rules of act. They don't transform at the full moon or any of that nonsense.
Right. Yeah, it's at will. Although the full moon is relevant because there's a full moon on Halloween and somehow that's important, but never made clear why.
Never made clear. So they get into a fight.
Yeah, there's a fighting.
And at some point he has a showdown with Connor, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, you got it.
And there's a turnaround at some point where Connor's about to die.
Okay. Wait. You're stepping way ahead.
Is it really that far ahead, Sam?
It's a good 2 scene. So he gets Angel free, and then they start fighting in the woods, and Angel gets everyone else free. And then John goes back to his farm, and that's when Caden leads Connor back to the farm as well.
Right, because that's where everything's set up, right?
And that's when John manages to murder just a bunch of the hench people, the other things, by shooting those mines.
So he shoots all the mines, he kills all the henchmen, but Connor manages to survive.
Yeah, remember he leads him into a barn at one point, and that's when John shoots it through a knot hole in the barn and blows up a mine inside the barn. But somehow Connor survives that. Yeah.
And so now Connor and Caden are having the showdown.
Yes, and Caden basically puts him down, and John's about to shoot him.
But then Connor says something. He tells him that he was actually in love with his mother.
Yes.
So he's like an about face. He's like, just kidding. I didn't actually do anything super questionable to your mom. I really loved her, and it was a mutual relationship.
She loved me. Yep.
And we got pregnant. I don't know if it was on purpose, but, it was cool.
I mean, I don't think it was on purpose. They were just, being irresponsible.
Right. But did he know that she was pregnant?
No.
Okay. And so she just kind of, he thought that the dad had
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He did know she was pregnant, but
thought that she'd lost the
killed.
baby, right?
Yeah, and that she was killed by her father.
Okay. So, and they, for some reason, didn't just run away or tell the father all of this.
What happened? Remember what happened? You're getting there.
I don't know.
So Connor, for some reason, is to protect her honor, virginity, whatever you want to call it.
But she was obviously not a virgin.
Yeah. But he's to protect her, to kind of distance her from the whole affair. He's I'm going to take the fall. I'm going to say it was all my fault. I forced myself on her to help save her or whatever. Maybe that will make her father not want to kill her if it wasn't her defying him. It was me being the wrong one. I'll take the punishment.
Right. So he says that he forced himself on her, but then but
the father does not care and wants to kill her anyway.
Because he's terrible.
So which is why even with the whole ruse was pointless.
It was.
All right. So Connor comes to terms with being a monster. He's I've become the monster. They always said I was. And Caden's having a little aw, daddy moment. And what happens?
Does Connor...
Who shows up?
Oh, somebody dies.
Close. We're getting there. I mean, people will die, yes.
So they're having a little moment, and then... I don't remember what happened.
Everyone's favorite character.
Wild Joe shows up.
Yay! Wild Joe!
And it turns out that he's behind the whole plot.
Yes.
That he's the one who killed his parents.
Whose parents?
Caden's parents.
Yay!
And he staged this whole thing in an elaborate Rube Goldbergian style ruse to get him somehow to this Lupine Ridge place and get these two together, and assumed that they wouldn't get along. I don't know. He just made a lot of assumptions that somehow worked out.
Yeah. So Wild Joe is angry at Connor because he was another one of Connor's banishment victims.
Exactly.
And he was a brother of Carter.
He's so I'm going to pull this random kid into this who has no history with any of it.
He knows it was Connor's son.
Right.
So he's
but the idea that that's your plot, that's what you're going with. You're I am going to pull this son back into this village.
To kill Connor or whatever, yeah.
This will totally work. They will definitely not get along, even though Connor's only desire is to have a true blood son.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. But it worked. So,
Good on Wild Joe, who dies at some point.
Well, so Wild Joe fights who now?
Connor?
Yeah.
And I don't remember how that ends, to be honest.
Joe kills Connor, slashes his throat immediately.
Oh, that's right. There was not even a big battle. He just dies.
No. Yeah.
The end.
And so that's when he begins to fight who?
I'm assuming Caden.
Yeah, of course. So they start to fight.
So they get into a big fight, and I assume Wild Joe dies, because otherwise
there's no plot. Do you remember how he dies?
Because
it's hilarious.
No.
So instead of, John shooting him from his high vantage point when he could have ended all this immediately, he's running away, and Caden sort of catches up to him, and he's like, Caden, I did you a favor. I brought you back here. We're not, Connor turned us into these monsters. I let you get revenge on him. I removed him from here. I killed that monster who made you. And Caden's like, yeah, but I've never killed anyone in cold blood, and I can't kill you now.
Oh, that's right. Because he's refuses. He's I don't want to kill you because except out of all those people that I've killed, I haven't killed anybody.
Well, not in cold blood, he says. And I think he's really clinging to that technicality.
Yeah, because he killed those two guys who were harassing and abusing that sex worker.
Yeah, that was to defend her. It wasn't in cold blood.
Arguably, though, he just randomly killed them. Not that they didn't deserve it, or etc.
If I was his lawyer, Danielle, I would say he was defending her. He was all hot-blooded for this.
And he might have killed that football player. We don't know yet.
But also, then killing Wild Joe in this moment, it would not be a cold-blooded act either, because he's just defending himself.
Exactly.
From...
But instead, does he have him step on one of the...
Yeah, he notices that he happened to be standing in one of the mines.
Right, and he
And then he,
throws something at it,
Yeah,
lights
he
it on
takes
fire.
Wild Joe's cigarette.
That's right.
And throws it at the ground, and somehow that causes the mine to explode.
And boom.
Boom.
Wild Joe is dead, but don't worry, it's technicality. He didn't really kill him in cold blood.
No, he somehow killed him indirectly by throwing a cigarette at his feet, which doesn't count, I guess.
Arguably.
So, Caden and Angel, then what happens with that, everyone?
They all live happily ever after at the end.
They go on a little joyride out of the world, like, oh, we're going to go see the world.
Woo! The end of Wolves.
End of Wolves.
Crazy, crazy
All right,
story.
Danielle. You were doing pretty well up until, like, the conflict happened.
I really did remember everything up until, like, all that story merges together. It's so hard to remember.
I don't know why it was so complicated for you, and especially the family tree stuff.
Oh, it was really hard. It was hard in the moment while you were explaining it. It's even harder now.
Well, you did, Danielle. You're very impressed. You remember the movie from, like, a month ago. So
It's terrible. Isn't that terrible? Oh my gosh. You guys, it's so bad. To be fair, we've done a lot of media since then.
Look, you barely understood that movie when I explained to you the first time, so I did not expect you to be very good at it.
I did not understand it at all.
So, you know, the fact you got this much is frankly impressive.
And I eventually got Connor's name, so you know what? It's a win.
And who's the other names?
Caden and Carter.
Yay!
And not Cameron.
I'm going to ask you about this at some random episode in the future and see if you remember
And
any
I will
of them.
definitely not remember it, so good call.
All right. Well, there you go, Danielle. Very good. This was our partial recall. Very partial today.
Very partial. Half partial. I only remembered literally 40% of this.
Yeah, but like this movie, like some movies just have plots that are impossible to stick in your brain. They're like wet pasta. They just slip through your fingers.
Yeah, it was a good explanation of that at the beginning. I agree. That's 100% what this movie is.
All right. Well, if anyone out there wants to share what they remember about Wolves or their favorite sea name that should have been in the movie as well, just to make more sea names, you can definitely reach us at bookretorts.com.
You can also tweet, Instagram, or Facebook us at Book Retorts.
And if you want more of this nonsense or want to support us, you can find us at patreon.com/bookretorts.
Patreon!
And until next time, please don't forget us, like Danielle forgot these names.
Please be better than me. Than I am.
And until then, bye.
Take care, everybody.
I forgot the name of this one. I kept confused between Reshorts,
I knew
Re-Extra,
it.
and...
It's like, I bet he forgot what it's called.
I was like, it's Re-Extra, but isn't that the other thing? No, it is this
I know.
thing.
I also have done that.
It's a real problem for us.
Because you have so many bonus names to things.
Well, we use the re prefix for a lot of dumb things it should not go in front of, which just creates problems.
It's my favorite part.
It is, strong branding, I guess.
We really committed to it.